First of all, Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. Hope you guys all enjoy your season. I have been doing so. I've got extended time with family, so I'm taking a little bit of a Bears content break. Hope you guys will forgive me, but enjoy the games. Enjoy the game tomorrow with the Bears and Lions. I don't think we stand a chance, but I'm hoping for miracles, and more importantly, I just want to see Caleb progress. One of the things that's bothering me the most about Bears social media right now, and creators and analysts, even your mainstream guys, is just the flat out narratives they create for Bears and where things are. This is not all on Caleb. It's not all on the line. It's not all on the defense. It's not all on A, B, C, or D. It's a group effect, and it's sad. And really, it comes down to the ownership. It comes down to coaches, and they just didn't have it this year. Caleb got put in a raw situation, an absolutely crappy, terrible situation he didn't deserve, but I see so much upside and potential. I'm extremely excited. I see Bears Civil War 2.0 happening, and I've had people directly inbox me on social media, on Twitter, saying, hey, will you do follow-up videos for the videos you made about us trading down and not taking Caleb? I'm not going to do it. I'm not not grifting. I'm not trying to just stir things up and stir the pot. I'm always going to give you guys realistic takes, and that's what I've said from day one. So I'm going to give a realistic Bears mock draft. Everyone that I see is taking a tackle in this draft. We're not getting rid of Caleb, I'll tell you that much. And he's not the problem. He's got a lot of things to work on. He has a ton to work out as a rookie quarterback. No, he hasn't been generational. That much is true. Does he have the potential to be Pat Mahomes-esque? Yeah, he's not going to do it year one. But let's say Pat Mahomes started year one. He could have had a similar trajectory as Caleb. Who knows? It's way too early to tell these things. So I'm taking the simmer approach, taking a step back and saying, this was a developmental year. Hasn't gone anywhere close to according to plan. Let's keep rebuilding and go towards next year. Because the Bears aren't making the playoffs this year, all we can hope for is good football to enjoy. Enjoy your families, enjoy the holidays, and let's get back to Bears football next year, because whether we win or lose, we are da Bears. We bear down. So one big thing with the mock drafts, and I'm going to do a quick one here. This is going to be a quickie mock draft because I am spending a lot of family time, but I wanted to get in here. Wish everyone a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, because I'm not going to make anything else, not a post game, not anything, until after Christmas. I'm going to spend this time with family, and I love it. And I just want to wish you guys a Merry Christmas. Hope you guys enjoy it, and then I'll do a quick mock draft here. One big thing though is this is a weak offensive tackle class, and so many people have us taking a tackle in the first round, second round, or third round. Remember, we drafted Karan Amagaji for the exact reason of develop him behind Braxton. Braxton's on a rookie contract, and whether you like it or not, he grades well and he plays well 90% of the plays. The 10% some of you guys don't like, make it so the pitchforks are out, the torches are out, and we're going to burn him down. We're going to get rid of him. And I've bought into it for you guys. I've made mock scenarios trading him and doing different to make it, what would happen if. But I just don't think it's realistic at all that we take a tackle, that we get rid of Braxton. Like, that's your 1-2 this next year. It is what it is. Next year's draft class 2026 has some really good offensive tackles. I would not be shocked if the Bears use their first round draft pick next year on an offensive tackle. This year, the defensive line is so stacked. There's a prime opportunity to take 3 or 4 guys, some that start and some that develop, and have a really good draft class. So I'm going to run through what the roster will look like afterwards, and then I'll show you my mock draft. And one of the things that prompted this is a couple of people say, well, PFN and PFF aren't realistic. None of them are. I'll tell you right now, none of them have the correct draft order. Things will go out of order. But some have said use Mock Draft Simulator. So I did one today off Mock Draft Simulator, and I addressed the whole off season. And here's what it looks like. So for our, let's jump right here first to our quarterback and running back room. We're going to draft Dylan Sampson. You can see that's the big difference there. So Dylan Sampson, we're going to take, and then I'm putting the contracts to the right. You'll see the free agent signings I take as well. Ian Wheeler's going to come back healthy. We'll have DeAndre Swift, Dylan Sampson. Let me move me a little bit so you can see this one a little bit better. I like the work I did here on the offensive line. getting Trey Smith in free agency is the dream. I get it. That might be as big a fallacy as people saying we're getting rid of Braxton Jones, that we get Trey Smith. But I think if you throw enough money at him, if you reset the guard class, which he could deserve, then you take Trey Smith for $21, $22, $23 million a year. It's such a big need for the Bears. I wouldn't be upset if we did that. A lot of people won't like Coleman Shelton. Realize Jake Slaughter is a really high prospect. We draft him late. He develops in. We're going to re-sign Coleman Shelton. A lot of people won't like it. So we've kept the core of the offensive line, but rotating, switching out 3 or 4 guys from your offensive line, especially switching out your center that has cohesion with Caleb, isn't smart. So we've kept Matt Pryor as a backup. We get Trent Brown, who's got injury history and getting older, but really, I mean, you're talking high grade. You're talking Trey Smith back in the day. So you got Trent Brown. You got, I know a lot of you won't like the left side, Braxton Jones, Karan Amagaji. It's not terrible. It really isn't terrible. And you get Tyler Booker in there, Trey Smith. I think this is really good work. Luke Kandra, a lot of people haven't realized how good of a prospect Luke Kandra is too. So I like to bring him in, developing. Maybe he even takes over Matt Pryor as the backup right guard. All right, we're going to move to the receivers, tight ends. We're going to take Jacob DeJesus as a undrafted free agent, primarily for his kick return ability. He's going to help us for returning the punts and the kicks. I mean, he's an All-American in college, so really great. And Mo Ali Cox we're going to take in free agency. Nothing shocking here. Now let's get to the defensive line. This is where most of the work went in. You've got Walter Nolan, and then notice I took Josh Sweat in free agency. So we're spending big money in free agency on Josh Sweat and on Trey Smith. And that's basically our free agency. Everything else is cheaper contracts. So with this year's defensive end free agency, I can see it. And then you're still going to draft Landon Jackson and Donovan Iziruaku as your backup developmental guys. I know a lot of you love Austin Booker. He's developmental. Maybe he'll come along. It does not hurt to have this much depth. Then you've drafted Walter Nolan and Riley Mills late. To me, this would be like completely fixed. This, as long as you get the right defensive line coach in here, you fix the defensive line. This is stout. I would have no problem with our run game, with our pressure, with our pass rush. This would be amazing to me. All right, next. Drafting Jackson Woodard very late. All-American as well. Defensive Player of the Year in the Mountain West. So that's the only change with our linebackers and nickelbacks. And then on the cornerbacks and safeties, look there, we got Nick Imanwari, who's a huge prospect, South Carolina. And that's going to help give some safety. Maybe Jaquan Brisker's not healthy. There needs to be some contract. We need to bring some fresh blood in. Look at all on the right there, all those 2025 contracts coming to an end. So here's what it looked like on NFL mock draft database. We'll bring these smaller, but here it is. Now, 244, I drafted a nobody, and then I covered it up with Jackson Woodard because they didn't even have him in their database, but I promise he's worth it. So we traded down, and this is a realistic trade, from 1-9 to 115 with the Niners. We got their second rounder, their fourth rounder, and next year's third. And that is very realistic of what it would take to trade from 15 to 9. So we took Walter Nolan in the first, Tyler Booker in the second, Nick Imanwari with our next pick, Landon Jackson with our next pick, then Donovan Iziruaku in the third, and then with our fourth round we picked up Dylan Sampson, then Riley Mills, developmental defense. I'm already a high on Riley Mills. I really like the prospect. Jake Slaughter, Luke Kandra, and then Jackson Woodard, and then we took Jacob DeJesus with our undrafted free agent as a punt returner, kick returner, who is very high upside. So hope you guys enjoy it. I think this is honestly, this is my favorite mock draft I've done so far. I want to get Mason Graham. I think that would be wonderful. But if we take Walter Nolan after a trade down and get 2 extra picks, a 46, and then even a future third out of that, I would take this draft. This is in a heartbeat. Getting Josh Sweat in free agency, Trey Smith in free agency. This is ideal for me. This would 100% be maybe not realistic we get Trey Smith, but realistic of the angle we take. Not taking a tackle, taking heavy on the interior offensive line through free agency and through the draft, heavy on the defensive end and defensive tackle positions. Getting a safety, getting a running back. That's a very realistic Bears mock draft. In my opinion, that's a very realistic Bears mock draft. And I do study the draft a little bit. I do have a little bit of knowledge on this thing. So appreciate you guys. Hope everyone has amazing time with their family, their friends, their loved ones. A Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. I'll be back before New Year, but I'm done from here until after. I won't be doing grades for this game until later on in the week after Christmas. So everything will be a little delayed this next week, but I am taking this time for family. I hope you guys do the same and enjoy all your families, enjoy the holiday season. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and of course, bear down.